Robert Oppenheimer used this as a description for the first nuclear test. When 1,000 suns explode in the sky, I shall come as death. He took a passage from the Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata and Ramayana. You will see vivid description of weapons which resemble today's modern weapons. You can still explore the cosmos, you could still know everything. If you look at the sciences as we know it today, they are full of explanations, but never ever addressing the most fundamental aspect of creation in any sense. Explanation for what is already there, and those explanations keep changing every 5 years. And a new set of people will get Nobel Prizes. I'm not trying to make fun of science as a whole. It's a fantastic exploration, no question about that. Today, the top scientists in the world have fully realized that this is not the way. They are openly saying that it is not only that we do not know, we will never know, but knowing tidbits about creation itself will bring enormous amount of benefit to humanity, no question about that. But benefit to one generation and extinction to the future generations are very short-sighted benefits. You will see in Puranas, Mahabharata and Ramayana comes under the Purana culture. You will see vivid description of weapons which resemble today's modern weapons. They could have just made up something which did not exist, the concept of it which did not exist a few hundred years ago. And you will be surprised, Robert Oppenheimer, who is considered as the father of modern nuclear weaponry, when the first nuclear weapon was tested in the United States, in Los Alamos, he took a passage from Krishna, from the Bhagavad Gita, and he said, when Krishna spoke about this, he said, when 1,000 suns explode in the sky, I shall come as death and shall shake the world. So he took this passage and used this as a description for the first nuclear test that happened in the United States. Because the same thing was spoken almost 5,000 years ago by Krishna. So why I'm going into this is, these aspects of physical sciences were explored and were rejected, are not the way for the humanity. If you go this way, this is a way of destruction, this is not the way to go. So they turned the whole thing into a mystical dimension where a human being can expand and explore limitlessly without causing any damage to anything around him. Without disturbing any life, you can still explore the cosmos, you could still know everything. And fundamental longing within a human being is, he wants to expand. How he does it is the only question. Either by conquest or by inclusion. Which way does he do it is the only question. But a human being cannot be kept here without expansion. So, when we talk about mystical dimensions, we are talking about looking at life, exploring life in a completely different direction and dimension. This needs a certain amount of reversal of everything you have done as life. If I say your life, you will immediately think your job, your business, your family, your husband, your wife, your children, your friend, and many other things, isn't it? Very few people, only if I put a gun to your head and say your life, then you understand what's life. This is not a party, this is not a job, this is not money, this is not home, this is not children, this is not this and that. Life means this. What makes life is not your local train coming on time, airplane taking off on time, the cell phone working, something else happening, your bank account clicking. No, what makes life happen is just this: the soil, the rain, the breeze, the mountain, the tree, and what beats here, what pulsates within this every cell in this body, and above all, the intelligence behind all this. If we want to explore something else, then we have to rejig ourselves a little bit. Rejigging ourselves may not be our idea of fun, but I want you to know one thing: the only and only thing, knowingly or unknowingly, that you're aspiring for is to become something more than what you are right now. You will never become anything more than what you're right now, unless your perception is enhanced. By increasing your bank balance, you will not become more. That's only in comparison with somebody. Unless everybody is little poorer than you won't feel good having $1 billion. Suppose everybody in the world has $10 billion and you have $1 billion, are you happy? So $1 billion is not going to do anything, it's only the social comparison. Anything that you may have or you believe you have achieved in life will not mean anything unless there is somebody to look down upon, unfortunately. Please see this. Yes or no? Yes. The only thing that will matter is your perception is enhanced. You are experiencing more life than you were experiencing yesterday. But this, you don't need anybody's comparison. How somebody is experiencing or not experiencing is not even an issue. If you're experiencing something more than what you were experiencing yesterday, this day is a blessed day and it's a fulfilled day. Ultimately, that's the only and only thing that fulfills a human being and nothing else.
Hey, tonight you're not going to sleep, are you?
How can you? It's Mahashivratri. Tonight you snooze, you lose. Want to know why?
On this day, there is a phenomenal upsurge of energy. So having realized this, the yogic tradition set this up, that nobody should lie down on this night. Your spine should be vertical so that an upward movement happens. Children are told on this night to go and throw stones on people's homes, and on that day you can do this mischief and no crime. Wherever you are watching this event, every hour make a call to all the people that you care for. Let them curse you, it's okay, but they sit up. You're rendering a great service to them. I want all of you to participate. Here we are at the house of Mozart. Mozart, for any music lover in the world, Mozart is not a strange name, but the sad story of his life and the fantastic nature of his life is he started composing when he was 5 years of age, and by 8 he performed or he conducted a symphony. This is only possible when there is a samskara like this, that the learning is not from what is around you, the learning is what one has imbibed from elsewhere. So this is what is called a samskara. Samskaric learning is of great significance, unfortunately being lost in the modern school education systems. But Mozart is a fantastic example of that, and within his short span of life, he became like the god of music in this region. But unfortunately, he succumbed to some unknown illness at the age of 36, and nobody knows where he is buried, in some unmarked grave somewhere. That's a sad story of who he was. But even today, anybody who loves music, their hearts will flutter when they hear the name of Mozart. Mozart is a master of music, not learned but imbibes music. If you can find a place where there are no sounds of machines and your cell phone will not tink-tink, quietly if you can listen to the sound of the trees, the breeze, the water, just the natural sounds, if you pay enough attention, tremendous things will happen to you. Many times I've been in the South Indian, they're kind of tropical rainforests. The longest I've been there through the jungle for about 23 days alone. No any kind of support, no cell phone for sure those days, and not even a torchlight. And fourth day I ran out of the food that I was carrying, so I lived off the forest. By about eighth day, I lost my jacket and one half of my shirt because I was chased by some animals and by that whole thing. I had half a shirt and pants. And I walked through. This is elephant country, tiger country. I saw tigers, panthers, elephants, all kinds of… the wild buffalo, various kinds of animals, very close quarters. But at the end of it, when you look back, what is the biggest impact on you? It's the insects. It's in the nights, the orchestra that goes on in the rainforest. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. And the timing, every day. Night 2:15 means one group will stop and the other group will stop. Really, their sense of time, every day, exactly, by the second, one group will start, another group will start. And you don't know what they're talking about. They're definitely talking something that you don't know, for sure. They're not just making dumb noises. So if you just sit there and listen and listen and listen and listen, slowly you start noticing there is a pattern and an organization to this, which is far bigger than any human symphonies that you can achieve. Far more complex and far more intense. I think it's very important for every human being, particularly if you have children. Vacation need not be Disneyland. I'm not against it, but one trip is enough, all silly stuff which excites you. Vacation should be into nature. If you can take your children, walk in a jungle, not in a resort. Just live on a mountain, expose them to nature. I will tell you, you will bring up your children not only physically healthy, mentally healthy, far more sensible and accepting and wonderful kind of human beings if they know how to… Because once you go into nature, whose son you are, whose daughter you are, what are you in the city doesn't matter, okay? Very important that everybody experiences that, otherwise you start creating your own illusions as to who you are and you start believing it for sure. Only death and disease tells people who they are. It's very important, especially if you have children, it's extremely important that vacation does not mean movies, vacation does not mean some, I don't know, silly entertainment of doing this and that. It's important there is some connection with the roots of who we are and we listen to the right kind of things, what makes life buzz.
There is no safety in stagnation. A seed is meaningful only for a certain span of time. Seed is potential life, very important. but it is a state of stagnation. If you try to keep anything in a state of stagnation, for sure you will lose it. The only safety is to make it grow, whether it's your body or your mind or your life. The only safety is in making it happen, not in trying to preserve it. Try this with your body and see. Because you want to live for a long time, from tomorrow eat all the best food and save it, don't use it. Try to save it. There is no safety in trying to save it, that's not the way life is made. The only way to save it is to use it.
Religion is supposed to be the means of peace, attaining peace. But in practicality, in reality today, every religion has got a base of fundamentalism and involved in terrorism. Can we not make an attempt to create a new world order where there is no religion at all?
What you unfortunately know as religion in the world today is just somebody's belief systems. Somebody believes God is round, somebody believes God is square, somebody else believes he's a triangle. That's the situation, isn't it? And you must understand this. Once you start believing in something which is not yet a reality for you, you are bound to be in conflict with somebody else because somebody else is bound to believe something else. No, I believe in my God, but I am not a violent person, I will not fight with anybody. All this is just make-up. If they provoke you sufficiently, you will fight. Like, for example, let's say you believe God has 4 hands. I believe God has no hands. There are 2 belief systems. Tomorrow, out of your love for God, you put 100 feet tall statue in Coimbatore city, of course with 4 hands. But suddenly I feel so hurt. These 4 hands look so ugly because God actually has no hands, because that's my belief. So tonight I will go to that statue, I don't intend to cause any damage to your God, just to make him the way he really is, without hands. So I just cut off the 4 hands. Tomorrow what will happen to you? You want to cut off my hands, isn't it? Simply because you believe one thing, I believe something else. As long as people believe in something, conflict is inevitable. Because you may say, no, we are all brothers, we are all one, everything is okay with us. All this bye-bye stuff, when we really have to come to a point, when I believe what I believe is right, I will try to manifest it. I will try to make it a common thing everywhere, isn't it? Yes? Once I believe what I believe is the truth, naturally I will try to impose it on other people. I don't call it imposition, I call it saving you from ignorance. Yes or no? Once I firmly believe that this is the way God is, I will try to put it on to you, just to save you, not to hurt you. But you will get hurt, because any imposition hurts. When you resist, I will use other methods to put it into you, whatever those methods are. Sword has been used, money has been used, every kind of inducement has been used, isn't it? Simply because I believe one thing, you believe another. Religion is not about belief system. All religions started as a method to turn inward. But it's an inward step. An inward step can be taken only by an individual, isn't it so? It's a very intimate thing, something very, very concerned with only with you, nothing else to do with anybody else. But when people try to organize this inward step, naturally it gets distorted. Now we want to do our religion on the street. Religion cannot be done on the street, it can only be done within you. If you become truly religious, you must be beyond any kind of conflict, isn't it? Both within and outside. That is the whole crux of the religion, isn't it? But today religion means conflict. If you utter the word religion, you're talking generally in terms of conflict that is happening in the world, isn't it? This is because you have reduced an inward step into your set of beliefs. Because if you have to take an inward step, you have to transform yourself. If you have to believe something, you don't have to transform yourself. You can do whatever nonsense you want and still believe God is up in the heaven, isn't it? Yes? The crudest people, the cruelest people on the planet have always been talking about God, isn't it so? Yes or no? All the warmongers in the world have been talking about God, isn't it so? And God has been helping them. See, the moment you believe something, you have a new kind of confidence. It's the biggest problem. When idiots become very confident, the world is in danger. An intelligent person is constantly hesitating with life. With every step he wonders whether what he is doing is okay or not. But a fool has absolute confidence. And when his stupidity gets stamped by God, that's it. No looking back. Just can go on doing the most idiotic things without any problem about it. The very nature of your intelligence is such that if you do something stupid today, tonight your intelligence will bother you, why did I do this? Isn't it so? But if you get God's stamp on your stupidity, you don't have to turn back and see. You can do grossest things on the planet and not bother about it, feel very proud that you're anyway going to go to heaven because you did all this nonsense. There is no experiential dimension, you're just believing something. Once you believe something, your belief and somebody else's belief are bound to clash somewhere. The conflict in the world is not between good and evil, please see this. Though people always claim it is so, it is not true. It is always one man's belief versus another man's belief. So religion has become a problem because we have reduced it into just a set of beliefs. If it was experientially true that you really felt God, then could there be conflict? There is no such possibility, isn't it? But because you're growing from a belief system, you're not willing to make the effort of going beyond what you have gathered from others and looking at life by yourself. That is why there is conflict. If you do not know, there will be no conflict. If you know, there will be no conflict at all. But when you pretend to know, there is bound to be conflict. The Hatha Yoga, as we are teaching, this is not happening now, this has happened for millennia in this form. This is a lineage where nobody left a signature on the yoga.
I think what makes this program different and unique from any other program is that the asanas here are very much a live process. It's a classical Hatha Yoga, and so I'm noticing that every day it's something that's living within you, that's something that is growing, it's something that's evolving within you. All of the asanas, the postures are done with eyes closed. And that makes the world of the difference. It's not a performance anymore, it's… The fact that we close our eyes during most of the postures makes it so that it's much more of an inward process.
So what makes something classical is, one thing is the period of its existence, which definitely all yoga has. In a specific form, if it has existed for a period, and another thing for a language is that it must have a substantial body of literature. That is, it is not just people are speaking it, many people have written many things about it, explored various dimensions of life using that language. There is a substantial body of literature and it has existed for a sufficient amount of time where you really can't pin the exact date when it started. The Hatha Yoga, as we are teaching, this is not happening now, this has happened for millennia in this form. Because the significance of this lineage is, this is a lineage which clearly understands we are dumb idiots. When you know you're a dumb idiot, you will not try to change anything. That's the significance of being stupid. Hello? When you think you're stupid, you don't think you will have to innovate, isn't it? People who think they're smart, they always have to make something of their own, they have to leave a signature. So this is a lineage where nobody left a signature on the yoga. I even feel within myself, I shouldn't tell you this, but now you asked, I'm telling you, I don't feel right to even call it Isha classical Hatha Yoga. Within me, it's not okay. Classical Hatha Yoga, that's all it is. Isha is added because today's world functions with brand, and you must understand, the brand of Isha has been built with blood and sweat. Classical Hatha Yoga, that's all. Because no frills, no addition from us, just the way it was, and its potential is limitless. Here it sits, we can codify it in many ways, we can teach it to you, we can put it in the form of energy, we can make it in so many ways. So in this context, yoga, the application of yoga is limitless. So it has a body and its age is also quite timeless, at least in human perspective. So that qualifies for classical Hatha Yoga.
It's taught in a really traditional way. Like, you know, the Gurukuls in India, it's like that. It's not like a school or a college or a university, though it's international. People from all over the world come here. But still, the sanctity of the process, the sacredness of the process, and, tradition in which it has to be taught, that is maintained. And that's what makes a whole lot of difference here.
During the session, before any new asana, we watch a demonstration of the posture that shows the smallest details of how we are supposed to do the asana, how to stand, how your body alignment should be, and even how your fingers should be. We went through two types of practice correction. The first one was partner correction. Each one of us joins with a partner and correct the postures for each other. The good thing here is that I'm able to see other participants' mistakes and relate them to my mistakes too. By watching others, I can understand those small details. The second type of practice correction is one-on-one practice corrections with the teachers. I discovered that there are many mistakes I didn't realize I was doing, and now I'm paying much more attention to how I do the asana.
One thing that I've been noticing, we're doing a process called visualization. It's really about to train the mind to visualize the posture we get in. So we not only use and develop the body, but we also start using the mind as well. We just close our eyes and visualize it, so that you can really train and use the mind to the full extent.
Yoga was booming all around, and I was drawn to it was mainly because of the psychological balance as well as the physical benefits that you get from it. But I didn't have a proper source, so I did some YouTube yoga. It was some postures and the explanations on how to do it. It was so not working out. I used to just copy the move with music running in the background. I can't even imagine doing such a thing right now. There was no focus on the breath. So I did that for a few months, injured my right shoulder, and obviously I had to stop it. I had no idea I would be introduced to this place where they have so much depth to everything. We are asked to put focus on every single movement, coordinated with the breath. At first I was like, oh, this hurts, that hurts, my stomach hurts. Every day I actually want to do more of it so that I can break that limitation of, that resistance that I have towards sadhana. Every day I wake up thinking, let's push yourself a little more, and maybe we'll get there a little quicker. So yeah, and can't wait to lose some more weight, man. This is like, it's dragging me down a little bit. So I'm gonna be out there, but the body is a limitation. So I'll work on it more.
I'm not only learning Hatha Yoga, actually I'm learning a new way of life and learning the ideal way of becoming a Hatha Yoga teacher. And I'm also becoming more aware of unconscious patterns of my life. Everything in the program is very precise, and I'm looking forward to learn more from each.
Sadhguru, what should be the role of a good parent in today's world?
See, parenthood is a very funny thing. You're trying to do something that nobody has ever known how to do it well. Yes? Nobody has ever known what is the best way to parent their children. Even if you have 12 children, you're still learning. You may raise 11 properly, the 12th one can give you works, So, but you want to do your best. So what is the best thing you can do? One foremost thing I would say is, first thing is to work upon yourself a little bit. Spend sufficient time with yourself. Look at yourself carefully. How you are, how you sit, how you stand, how you speak, what you do, what you don't do. I think you must look at yourself very carefully because the children are picking up everything rapidly and they'll exaggerate everything that you're doing. So, one foremost thing is, at least make yourself in such a way that you would like to be. Somebody may not approve, it doesn't matter. At least you made yourself in such a way that you like the way you are. At least that much you must do. Maybe you cannot raise to somebody else's standards. We don't know what kind of standards they set for you. But at least you must become the way you like it, the way you are. That is a must. But that will only create the necessary ambience. It still doesn't make you necessarily a good parent, but it creates the necessary ambience. But creating the necessary ambience is a large part of parenthood, large part. If you create the right kind of atmosphere of a certain sense of joy and love and care and discipline for yourself and your home atmosphere, generally they grow up. Of course, you want to provide opportunities for them. Each one of us can provide opportunities only to the extent it's available to us, isn't it? Yes? You cannot provide an opportunity for which you don't have access. You'll always do according to your limitations. I'm sure in that area you'll do your best, but the important thing is what kind of human beings or brats you raise. For that, what kind of human being are you is an extremely important part of raising children. So, if your wife became pregnant, it's time, transformation for you. Because now another life is coming in. You yourself are the way you don't like yourself to be. Definitely, one more need not go that way, isn't it? So, becoming conscious of what we are doing is extremely important. What should we teach? What we should do? I think one important thing that you should teach your children is that they learn to question everything, but not with suspicion, with a genuine wanting to know. Questioning can become a very sick thing or a very healthy process. People question because they already suspect everything is evil. This is a sickness. But the basic purpose of a question is an instrument which helps you to dig a little deeper than where you are, isn't it so? Yes? Question is essentially an instrument with which you can dig a little deeper. That's the purpose of a question. If you just bring this into your child's mind, that a child can question anything, including you, the way you are, if you allow that in a healthy way, not in a sick way, questioning things because you think something is wrong with everybody. If you bring this, the child is constantly exercising his intelligence. This will not ensure whether he's going to become a doctor, engineer, this, that, but one thing is clear, his intelligence is active. If you anyway put him through the necessary physical paces to give him a healthy body and an active intelligence, and of course some level of education according to what you can afford, and you bring him up without any sense of identity. Without any sense of identity, if you can bring him up, if you do not entangle his intelligence by being identified to this or that he's willing and open to everything, if you bring him up this way, the best possible that he can make out of his life, he will do. He may not become like somebody else, but he will grow to his maximum potential. Of course, it depends on along the way who he meets, what happens, what situations he gets into, whether he kind of comes into a spiritual space or he goes into a war zone. Where he ends up, who knows? Those things you cannot control, isn't it? But if you create an atmosphere of love, meditativeness, openness, when you're not identified with anything, naturally there is no sense of prejudice. If you bring up a child free of prejudice, in a loving, very open atmosphere, generally they do well, but there is no guarantee. Because there are other influences in the society, you don't know into whose hands they'll fall tomorrow morning. Yes? You may be doing your best, tomorrow morning into whose hands your child will fall. There is no insurance or guarantee. That's a risk that you're taking, always. But the only thing is, did you do your best or not? That's all there is to life.
Look, I have to congratulate you. You made it through a deep, unfiltered video. That takes attention, openness, and courage. So leave your city in the comments, or share a quote that stuck with you. If you feel this could help someone, send it their way. Thank you, Big Hug, and until next time.